Oh,
Welcome again to the Franciscan Hermitage here in Indianapolis, Indiana, as we celebrate the fourth Sunday of Advent. I would just like to take some time out to say a little bit about the content of these readings. The first reading says that God is working through the Israelites, which in this translation says the runt of the litter. So they're really not important. And the gospel is talking about two babies who aren't of any concern to most anybody, but just hidden in humanity. And yet it is God who uses those two children to transform the world. My dear friends, I think it's really important for us to understand how important the children are in our society. In the same way as Jesus was born to transform our world, the children being born today will be transforming our world. And I think we really need to pay attention to them. Gibran in his poetry on children says, "You may give them, children, your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your wildest dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, but tallies, nor does it tally with yesterday." My dear friends, this week on television I saw this very small child, maybe 2 or 3 years old, dressed up as an elf, and the grandfather was having a very serious time trying to keep his restaurant open during these times, trying to attract people in. And so they dressed up this little child as an elf and let him free to walk through the entire restaurant. And this kid has an effervescent personality, and everybody fell in love with him. Well, this child started to attract people. He became the big attraction in this restaurant and saved the grandfather's business. And I also saw this story on the news about this teenager who started an app to be able to help his sister, who cannot speak, to communicate. And the affection that this youngster showed to his sister brought me to tears. Those of you who are parents and grandparents, those of you who are teaching children in school or in daycare, or pastors, or anyone who is dealing with children, we need to pay attention to these children. And to not only share with them what we know about the spiritual life, but to ask questions of them on how they see the world and what they are going to be doing to make our world a better place. That's our job. Now, they will see a vision that none of us will be able to see. But with our help and support, these will be the children who are going to change the world in the same way that Jesus did. I think celebrating this feast and making the children the center of the feast is something we need to pay attention to. They can teach us a lot. I think it's important that we try to help them to understand from the time they are infants that they are powerful spiritual beings. And we can help them to use that power, even for physical healing, and to teach them how to love and how to give their expertise and their understanding freely to make our world a better place to live. That, I think, is one of the essence of this Christmas season. So if you have an opportunity to deal with any children, please pay attention to the fact that they are very important, and you can help them in the process of their growth toward being leaders in our country and our world. Before I close, I want to thank all of those of you who have been sending in gifts to support us here at the Hermitage. You know, we are a tax-exempt not-for-profit, and since the COVID opportunity, we have not had the opportunity to do as much teaching as we could. So we are really relying heavily on donations. So if you can help us out this season, we would be most appreciative. And we wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and God bless you all.